Hello, and welcome back to Mindfully Rich Podcast, your weekly look at life and finances with a twist where we talk about improving your overall relationship with money and building better financial habits. On each episode, I'll discuss real life situations and give y'all practical advice. The point of this podcast is to help you stay in your financial lane so you won't end up broke. I'm the creator and host, Richie. Now, let's jump into today's conversation. What's up, y'all? I'm back. Of course, we're not going to discuss the obvious. We just going to go ahead and be appreciative right now that we are all here. We are all listening right now, right? And before y'all ask, I don't know what's going on with my voice. I think, this is just my theory, I've now been in California 7 years. I've developed allergies, and it is the weirdest thing. Like, my nose be itching. I didn't know what it was. Like, real talk, I called my doctor because I'm a hypochondriac, y'all. Asked my god sister, oh my goodness, hypochondriac, anything happen, WebMD, I swear I'm about to die. Okay, that's just me. So when I first felt the itchy feeling in my nose, to some of y'all, you would probably be like, that's allergies. To me, I'm like, oh my goodness, I got a brain disease. It's going down into my nose. I don't know what's happening here. So I know it sounds crazy. It is, okay? And so I'm experiencing that right now, and I'm also experiencing that with my voice. It's not the COVID, okay? So everybody chill out, all right? So just want to say thank y'all so much for tuning in. Thank you. Y'all been showing out. Y'all been doing numbers. Y'all must really like hearing about credit, because y'all have been running that last episode up where I was talking about if you should pay the minimum payment or not. If you haven't listened to that one, you're going to want to make sure that you are checking out all of the episodes for March, because I do have 5 lined up. You get in 2 this week, you got 1 last week, and there's 2 more to come. So please make sure y'all are tuning in. Make sure y'all are sharing these episodes. It is some good information, child. I get finished listening to these episodes like, you did that, girl. That's what I be saying to myself. Because I'm my biggest cheerleader, okay? That's me. Anyways, I got to say thank you to all of y'all. Y'all have really been listening. Another surprising episode that y'all have been listening to was the one I did for Black History Month, where I talked about discrimination in the workplace and the cost of being Black. And in terms of how that affects Black people in our roles with getting promotions, things like that. Y'all, when I tell y'all that episode has been running up, I am upset at myself that I didn't continue that. What I said I probably will do is for Juneteenth, because I did have 2 more episodes that I never released. And I didn't know how to release them because it wasn't Black History Month anymore. Now, of course, I could talk about Black history whenever I want to, right? But I wanted it to be fitting for a time. So probably for Juneteenth, around that time, like the week before Juneteenth and the week of Juneteenth, I probably will release those episodes, because y'all don't even know. Those episodes have gotten, y'all didn't download that episode. That's the only thing I can say. And also, it's been shared a lot. So I'm going to make sure that I go back to that. But this month, once again, because it is National Credit Education Month for March, I want to make sure that I am focusing on that for the podcast. And I wanted to educate y'all on credit cards and how they can affect your overall score. So I picked topics surrounding credit cards because I wanted to give y'all something that wasn't basic, right? I've talked about a lot of stuff here on this podcast, y'all. Oh my goodness. This is episode 90. Okay, so I've had episodes where I've talked about the basic things of credit, and I wanted something different. That was the reason why I said, let's dig deeper. I went to my friends. I said, what would y'all want to hear about? So that way I can produce all of this information out to y'all. I want to first send a shout out to Savannah. Savannah, girl. Yes. Hey, girl. I know you listening. And I love that you're listening. And for your shout out that you did to me, OMG, girl, okay? I just got to shout you out. And I just got to say thank you so much, just because Savannah shared that my podcast was the first podcast that she listened to all the way through. That is an honor for me. I do not take that lightly. You gave me the extra pep in my step that I'm going to have for these episodes coming up, just because that's what keeps me going. And if I know I got one person who's right there listening, okay, I know that I'm going to bring my best. So, Savannah, I want to tell you, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You've said so many kind words to me here recently, and just, girl, just keep going. All right. I do this because I absolutely love it, and I love connecting with people who are just as passionate like you. So I want to make sure that you know that, and wanted to tell you thank you. And so, y'all, I know that I have not been on the Mindfully Rich podcast Instagram page. I don't know why I said that so slow, because I had to think about it. I'm like, what am I trying to say? I don't know if anybody else does that. So I haven't been on there. I promise y'all I am coming back this week. I am. I don't know what's been going on in my mind, because this is a one-woman show over here, y'all. This is me doing all of this, and it could become overwhelming, especially for my other responsibilities. Got a big girl job. I am a mother. Okay, I have to do self-care because I cannot pour from an empty cup. So I just wanted to give y'all some updates there, just to let you know I am coming back. I did not stop with the savings challenge. I'm still saving. I'm going to post a picture coming up this week as to where we're at, because it's about to end at the end of March. So just because I stopped posting didn't mean that y'all stop. Y'all still have all of the information. It is on the podcast page. It's there for those who want it. So just wanted to make sure that I threw that out. All right. So if we start at the beginning, a healthy credit score is necessary. All right. It is absolutely necessary. Credit is one of my favorite topics to talk about. And so when we're thinking about credit, lots of people will say, you know what? I don't know if I really need this. I don't know the reason why I need to monitor this thing called a credit report all the time. But you should, just because if you're going to make it easier for yourself, if you are going to be financing things in your lifetime, you will make it way more easier for you to obtain these things and pay less the higher your credit score is. Because the higher your credit score is, the lower your interest rate. And the interest rate is the amount that you pay for a particular loan. All right. This comes into play, and I wish I would have knew this earlier in life. When you're purchasing a house, y'all, house prices are absolutely crazy, ridiculous, all of the words, cuss words, if you will, okay? And the lower your credit score is, the more you're paying for said house that I just talked about with all of these ridiculous prices, all right? It pertains to when you're getting a car and also credit cards and things like that, but you really, really see it when you get a mortgage. That's the one thing, and that's the one thing that you're paying on for 30 plus years. So you want to make sure that we're paying attention to our credit scores. But this particular series is focusing on credit cards and how credit cards, they play a part in increasing and decreasing your score. Credit is power. All right. Just to make sure that everybody's on the same page as that. That's the reason why I wanted to create this 5-week series where I'm talking about how credit cards play a part in increasing and decreasing your credit score. So we're going to go ahead and jump into today's conversation. Just like I told y'all, it is episode 90. I didn't brought y'all 90 of these things, child. I wish I had bombs, everything, drop them all, because that's amazing, okay? That's something that I need to celebrate, child. Let me go and give me a mimosa, okay? It's Sunday as I'm celebrating this, and I'm going to brunch here soon. Mimosas will be bought, all right? Because I don't think about how good this is and how much I've been doing until I sit here and I'm actually having this conversation with y'all. So this is something, yes, absolutely, all right? And on today's episode, I'm going to be talking about how many credit cards should you have? I get this question a lot. My friends brought this to the table for me. And I wanted to make sure that I answered this in a way that I would answer it the way that I believe it to be. All right. I want to make sure that I am pointing that out. There is no rule of thumb of how many official credit cards you should have. There isn't. All right. This is particularly me, what it is that I believe, what I saw that works, and how I believe this can impact and help you in your life. All right. So let's go ahead and go to the question at hand. You probably are wondering, how many credit cards should I have? Is there an amount that's too many, too little, whatever it is that you may be thinking, right? So I believe that everyone should have 5 types of credit cards, okay? 5, all right? I always say 5 for the founders. Y'all know Mazeta. So 5. I like to come up with 5 things. It just so happened that this particular topic had 5. I don't know. It just works out that way sometimes. Okay. So let's go into the first type of credit card that you should have. An airline official credit card. All right. I believe that everybody should get them an airline specific official credit card. So my airline of choice that I love is Southwest. All right. Note to self, I got to make sure that I copy Southwest on this. All right. I'm trying to get sponsorships, free flights. Okay. Do you hear me? Aha. Thinking strategic over here. All right. My airline of choice is Southwest. And so for a while, I was flying Southwest and I knew that I loved Southwest as an airline. You know, forget y'all if you don't. They're dope. All right. Being able to fly 2 bags free, it's amazing. I don't care that I can't pick my seat and all of that other stuff that other people are looking at and looking for in an airline. I love Southwest. They do it right. They just do. All right. Because I've flown them so much, one day I was on a flight and I got an email while I was on the flight like, hey, you should apply for our credit card. And I was just like, I do fly Southwest a lot. And then it gave me all of the benefits. So I would get to upgrade my boarding 6 times. So where I can be in the A1 through A15 group. Anybody that flies Southwest, you know that they get on first. I was like, bet, I like that 6 times a year. That seemed pretty cool. I also get, I believe if I get drinks or in-service, any type of in-service fees, they'll give me discounts on that. Like I get a $75 credit each year. Now, there is an annual fee, but because of the way that I fly, it all still works out for me. I still save money. So I found it to be more beneficial for me to have an airline credit card. And then think about it like this. So for me, I'm not from California. This is where I currently reside, right? I'm from Chicago. I've been having this debate, so let me just go ahead and say this, okay? I'm originally from Markham. And also, I claim Harvey as well because I lived in both places all throughout my life. Now, I always say Chicago because Chicago is right there. I'm right outside the city, like literally right outside the city. We also share the same county. We are the suburb that boards Chicago. All right. And so I say that not only to give a pinpoint for most people, but because I'm right there. All right. I know it's been a lot going on the TikTok, y'all. I'm random sometimes. OK, on the TikTok, when people been doing that, it's not Atlanta. It's not. And they've been doing that for different cities. And they were talking about Chicago, too. And I'm just like, y'all shut up. All right. So I just had to just go ahead and say that. But I bring it up to say, because I have to fly into Chicago when I'm going home, California to Chicago is not a cheap flight. All right. It ain't cheap by no means of the imagination. And so I believe in having this credit card for the airline because if at any point and I needed to fly home real quick, whether I have it right now or I needed to plan to pay for this, I got this credit card where I'm able to pay for this flight for me to get home if there was an emergency. Okay, so that's how I'm looking at it. I like not only the benefits, but I'm also looking strategically at it because I still have family. My 93-year-old grandmother is still at home in Chicago. All of my family is still there. There may be things that pop up. All right, I have to bring this story back up just to let you know. When my mom first passed away back in October of 2018, I didn't have this credit card. I wish that I had it at that time because I didn't. At that particular time, y'all, it was robbing Peter to pay Paul moment, all right? Still going through the trenches of the divorce, things like that was happening. I wish I had this credit card where I could have easily been able to just purchase these flights. But at that time, I had to scrape up coins, all right? Now, you see how this credit card could have helped me in that time. And if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. So that's the reason why I believe having an airline official credit card should be a part of your overall credit card mix that you have. All right. The second type of credit card that I believe that everyone should have is the store credit card for the store that you frequent a lot. Yes, look at me using other words. Okay, I could have said the store that you go to. I wanted to use frequent. All right, I like that. So the store that you go to the most or a store that you go to a lot. So I'm going to tell you who used to be a part of my trinity of stores. All right. Express, Victoria's Secret, and New York and Company. I've talked about them a lot. I talk about them a lot just because I used to be in there religiously. Okay. I've been shopping at New York and Company since I was a girl. Okay. A little gal. Okay. Shout out to my friend. Okay. I've been shopping at New York and Company since it was Learner, right? And so when I turned 18, when I was on my way off to Illinois State, I said, I know I ain't gonna have no money. Let me get a store credit card for them. Different reason that I got the card back in the day. Now I know because, especially in my big girl job, when I was out and about, I need to look good. I'm not finna be outside looking raggedy. I'm gonna need me some clothes. So I wanted to have New York and Company so that I was able to go get some clothes, the reasonable clothes. Now, when I wanted to be extra fly, when I had first went off to I-State, back when I was 18, Express was the store. I loved Express. I got the Express credit card just because I was like, they clothes are fly. Like, New York and Company was like my everyday, but Express was like, ooh, if I want to be extra fly when I go out, them. And then at the time, because I got married at 18, at the time I was married, they had Structure for men. So Express for men used to be called Structure. So I would get both of our clothes there. So I had that credit card. Then Victoria's Secret. Yes. All right. There is a scent that I love at Victoria's Secret. Let me get up. I got to find what the scent is. Okay. Velvet Petals. Because we should know that every scent is not going to smell the same. Like when you're smelling it, it doesn't smell the same on you. So I found a scent that I love at Victoria's Secret that I love to put on me that smells good on me. And that is, what's the name of this again? Velvet Petals. So not only do I like the scents, I got to get the underwear, and I like nice underwear and the bras. Okay, child, because we working with a load. So I like a good bra. All right. And I love the bras at Victoria's Secret. So that's just me. That's just my preference. So that was my trinity of cards that I had because I frequented those stores the most. So I wanted to be able to just go there at ease. When I need something, get it, plan for the purchase, pay it off. That's what I do to this day. They stay at zero until I absolutely need something. I go in there, I utilize those cards because I can get so many different bonuses. Percentages off. They send me $30 off of, let's say, $50 or $70. Victoria's Secret does it all the time. New York and Company always has the deals, especially for the card holders. Express, no different. I just got a bomb. Ooh, y'all, my pea coat. I got this camel pea coat from Express. Child, I shut it down with that coat on. Okay. But you get what I'm saying. So if I need any of those things, I'm able to go. Like if I have something coming up, I need to just rush over there to go get me an outfit. I know that I'm able to. I keep the cards. Once again, I keep the cards at zero. Now, if I need to get something, I plan it out. How much are we going to spend? I give myself a budget on my card, right? Because on these cards, I've had them for so long, I got like a $2,000 limit. I didn't even know that was possible, right? Crazy. Maybe it's $1,500. I don't want to lie to y'all. And somebody come back and say, they don't even have $1,500. I know it's at least $1,500. All right. And so I can go there. I give myself a limit. I may spend $200 in Vicky's. I may spend $300 at Express, but I give myself a limit when I need to utilize the cards. Go use it, then pay it off. That's my method because it's easier for me and I save money because of all of the deals that they give me for utilizing the card. All right. The third type of credit card that I believe everyone should have is an American Express card. The reason why I love American Express credit cards is because they have higher credit limits. You need a higher credit limit card, child, okay? I started off with the baby limits, all right? When I was a child, they gave me the child limits, which was the 500s, which was those lower limit cards. I'm not calling anyone a child. I am really making sure that y'all are hearing what I'm saying. Those are smaller limits in comparison to the things that may go wrong and happen and the expenses that you may have to charge at a point in time if it's an emergency, if you don't have the cash on hand to pay for the actual expense that you have to pay for. All right. So if something really big happens, I'm going to give you an example. When my mom passed away, I use this as an example all the time just because I want to show y'all the severity of what it is that I'm talking about. So when my mom passed away, I talked about, I wish I would have had that Southwest credit card where I could have got the tickets for me and my kids so that we were able to fly home in an emergency and not have to worry about how much we had to pay and how much we were going to be able to pay at that particular time when I could have just charged it, right? So when my mom passed away and I went home, for some people, I'm not sure if you know this, and I talk about this a lot just to make sure I'm drilling it into y'all heads. So when someone passes away, and at the funeral home that we utilized, which was amazing, after everything was all said and done, I believe that the cost to the funeral home was going to be about a good maybe 7,000 some odd dollars, right? Sent my mama off with doves, okay? No lie. All right? And I was like, okay, so $7,000. I don't have that on hand, right? So what they said was we could take the insurance policy and we could put a lien on it and we would take the money that way. But you would have to pay a fee of $800 in order for us to do so, just to make sure that the insurance policy still pays out the money it needs to pay to us, right? So I was like, that's not a thing I'm going to do, right? So $800 more? Okay, no, I'm already spending $7,000, okay? 800 is $8,000 now. Okay, no. There's all too many more costs that are associated with funerals. So I was like, no, that's not an option. But I had my USAA credit card, which is an American Express credit card. And I had a high limit on this credit card. My American Express through USAA is, I believe, $20,000 or $25,000. I don't know because I'm not looking at the limit each day. Right, but it's high. That was the first time I used that credit card was to pay for my mom's funeral until the insurance policy paid out where I was able to reimburse myself. But me having that credit card at that time, spending almost $8,000 just for that particular expense. I'm not going to get into all the rest of the expense because total I spent over maybe almost 15. But having that, I was able to pay right then and there. I also didn't take myself over 30%. If you haven't listened to the last episode, I talk about that. So I wasn't hindering my credit score any by utilizing this card to pay for my mom's funeral at that particular time. Because I had a higher limit card, and that higher limit card I had was an American Express. I just like those cards. They come in handy. My interest rate is super low at USAA with that one. I believe it's somewhere like 15%. But this is the thing. So if you plan your purchases, even I'm going to do an interest rate episode because I'm about to go into the woods and I can't do that here. Okay. American Express cards I like because they have the higher credit limits. They also have a period of time where they'll go the 0% interest rates. I believe I had mine for like 18 months. It was 0% interest rate. That's good. All right. I don't keep balances on there like that. But in the instance where I need to keep a balance, it's low. 0%. I can do that. Also, I like how the American Express cards, it was one more point, child. Look at me. I was trying to go into it, but I can't remember it at the moment. I'm going into the woods. Okay. Perks. I knew it was something. I'm like, what was it? What was it that I liked about them? The perks that I got from the actual card. So during 2020, when the pandemic first hit, American Express offered to its cardholders free Calm for a year. Calm is an app. And so they have meditation. So if you're into meditation, you would love that. I loved it. I had such a good time just going through all the meditations. They had some celebrities that were doing them, stories, just things to help you calm down and to stay focused and to ground yourself. So I only utilized the Calm app due to it being a perk that I received from American Express. Now, I'm sure that there are tons of other perks that are out there. I'm just telling y'all one that I like. All right. I also love that I can have this. I can add this card to the wallet. So I'm an iPhone user. So we have wallet. And I add the card to the wallet and it's secure there. All right. I love having my cards in the actual wallet because I don't have to carry a card. I don't like carrying purses. I'm not that person. I ain't that girl. Okay. So I like that I can just have it securely right there in the wallet and I can pay for the things that I need to pay for. I got all the types of codes. So if my phone was ever stolen, there's so many codes to even before you even get to there. So it's secure. Y'all, I love it. That's my perk. That's the thing that I like about the American Express card. That's the reason why I believe it's the third type of credit card that everybody should have. All right. The fourth type of credit card that I think y'all should have is a hotel credit card. Now, the hotel that you utilize the most. So for me, I'm a Hilton girl. I love Hilton. I am definitely making a reel about this, okay? I just thought about that, y'all. I be random sometimes. I love Hilton. Hilton is my favorite hotels to stay at. I don't know what it is about the Hiltons. It's comfortable. The the pillows, the beds, all of it. I love it. When I went to Hawaii, they showed out. Child, amazing. Okay. I don't even know how to pronounce the one that I was at. It was great though. All right. But I love that I have a Hilton credit card and it's through American Express. But I get all of the bonuses of getting like free rooms. Y'all, I just like it. All right. And also, if there was an emergency, if something were to happen, say I need to go out of town right away, right? I got my Southwest credit card that I can utilize to purchase my flight. I got my Hilton credit card that I can get for my room. I know that I'm going to get there and have somewhere to stay. All right. And then also, I just told y'all about my regular American Express. I love just having that. So if it's an emergency, I wasn't planning for this expense and I needed to utilize that credit card, I can rent me a car with that card. I can get my food. I can do all of the things that I need to do while I'm on said emergency. All right. So y'all see how this is all adding up. All right. So the fifth and last card that I believe everybody should have is just an everyday credit card. And y'all, my new favorite everyday credit card is the Apple MasterCard. Y'all, I love this card. Okay. OMG. Love this card. So let me tell you how I was introduced to this card. So my friend Kaya, we were out, friend and soror, okay, and sister. All right. We were out at, where we at? I think we were at brunch. I think we was at Cafeteria 15 out here in Sacramento. And it was time to pay. Kaya pulls out her card, right? Titanium card, y'all. Just drops it on the table. Me and Arthur, okay? Arthur's our other friend. My boy, Capricorn. We like, OMG, not a titanium card. So we ain't never seen this card before. It's all white. Ain't no numbers on the card. We loved it. While we sat there at the table, got the card, qualified for the card so that we could get that card. And it was available right away. So right as you get the card, it's available right away. You can add it to the wallet. Y'all, this card is freaking amazing. I'm going to do a reel on this card because I want Apple to sponsor me in some type of way. I got all Apple products. The thing I love about that, having the Apple MasterCard, having all Apple products, if I needed to get a new iPhone, a new MacBook, the new ear things or whatever that come out, I don't know what they call. iWatch, any of those things, right? I spend 0% interest for any of those things with my Apple MasterCard. I love it. This is my everyday card. When I'm going to go just do my runs, I get all my things on this card and then I pay it off right away, only because it's so easy to do so. And you're earning Apple Cash as you do it. You get paid daily, the daily cash back, I can't think of what it's called, daily cash back. So my Apple Cash, for those of us who have iPhones, you know what I'm talking about. It will add it to Apple Cash each day. Y'all, I think I'm at like maybe 30 something dollars because I just get my purchases and then I just pay it off. I love this card. Okay, I freaking love this card. So this is my everyday card. Y'all, super easy, super accessible. If you haven't even heard of the Apple MasterCard, child, let me tell you, love it. I'm doing another, y'all, I'm going to have to do a reel or something else where I'm doing about these actual credit cards themselves. But y'all, these are the 5 credit cards that I believe should be a part of your credit card wallet as a whole. And I've told you the reasons why. This is what I believe. This is what I believe. All right. Some of y'all may think, no, this is not something that's realistic for me to do. It might not be. This is how I run my finances. So I wanted to give y'all some insight on that and how it's helped me because I'm saving money with the way I'm utilizing these cards. I'm being very strategic. These are things that I utilize every day, or flights, something that I'm going to need, hotels, something that I'm going to need, the stores that I go to all the time to get the things that I need in my everyday life. So that's why I'm being strategic with these things. Okay. So I told you at the end, I was going to tell you how many credit cards I have. So I have a total of maybe about 13 to 14 credit cards. So for those of you who have a lot, it's not a thing. What becomes bad for you with credit cards is if you're utilizing them all to their limits. You're utilizing them all over 30% in relation to your limits, and you don't have any discipline. So if you're that person who needs retail therapy every single time you get mad or have an emotion or a thought, this ain't gonna be it for you. All right. I have the discipline that I need to manage the credit cards that I have. What do you have? Do you have the discipline for that? That's going to be up to you. So you having an abundance of credit cards is not the thing that decreases your credit score. What decreases your credit score is if you have an abundance of credit cards and you're utilizing them all incorrectly, over 30% in relation to your limit, or you're using them to the max. All right, y'all, I've been talking a long time. This is probably one of the longest episodes I've ever had. But like I told y'all earlier in the episode, March is Credit Education Month, and I want to make sure I'm doing my part on educating y'all, especially being your money girl, okay, and your accountability partner. So while I know listening to my podcast is dope and you're going to gain some straightforward money and credit perspective, okay, because I'm that girl. All right. I would encourage y'all to make sure you are checking out some credit educational resources by going to the source. Go to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax website directly. So that way you can see the credit education that they giving y'all. Go to the source just in case you don't believe what your girl is saying. OK, I'm just breaking it down. But you can also go to the source and see what information they have out there for you as well. All right. I've been talking too long. That's it. Got to go to brunch. Get these mimosas. So thank y'all for listening. And I hope that this information has given you some new perspective. Once again, share this episode with everybody. Okay. We trying to do numbers out here like y'all been doing. And live life mindfully, intentionally, and on purpose. And until next time, when I hit y'all with another one.